Then from
I'll
December.
move. So moved.
Thank you, Shirley. Can I have a second?
Second,
Second,
Thank you, Jeff.
Jeff
All in-
seconds, yep.
Okay, all in favor. Jeff,
Aye,
Anne,
in favor.
aye.
Shirley,
Yes, aye.
and Nancy, aye. So unanimous. Great. Jeff and Anne, thanks for your efforts in the Treasury Department. Let's hear from you next on your report. Quick report.
Well, it's very quick because we were just talking about this amongst ourselves a little bit. We met with Sue, basically, she was making the budget just as a sounding board. And we were just listening to, her points of why things were monies were allocated for different purposes. So we were a little bit not uncomfortable, but we didn't feel like we were doing the budget.
Oh,
As
yeah.
far as that was worded.
Yeah.
So we just sat with Sue and she's done a great job forwarding us all the information that she's gone over and explained it pretty
Okay.
well, but I don't feel like I'm really in a position to even have any great questions about it because I'm just so new to it.
Yeah,
So
we're all in
I
this
just wanted to
together.
clarify that we're all in that, feeling that
Yep.
same way.
But, yeah, let me add, I think it was a good discussion. Yeah, it was partially brainstorming. Sue had some great ideas and ran them by Ann and myself. And, we discussed pretty much everything that she was thinking about. And we were totally in agreement. So I don't think there was anything at odds at all. And I just thought it was a valuable hour and a half
Yes.
to,
Okay, well, I'm going to
No.
backtrack just a second and we'll get to the budget. Thank you all for your efforts. I just want to note that you did follow up, I see, and purchase a 6-month CD in the amount of $20,000, which we
Correct.
authorized you to
Yep.
do
Okay.
at our last
I get
meeting.
ahead of myself, huh?
Yeah, and B, you cut the checks for the end of year bonuses. So we've taken care of that.
correct. Yep, we're
Okay.
on target with that. Do you want the checking account deposits and expenditures for the past year? Would you want that now? I have the gross total figures, no? That's okay. Yeah, no, I didn't know. Yeah, okay.
If
So
you
we're
want to
all
put
set.
together some kind of treasurer's report for the annual meeting, our next scheduled meeting in February, that's great. But
Okay.
I'd love to
Okay,
skip as quickly as we can, since we only have the hour, to the director's report,
Yep.
including the draft budget. So unless there's anything else you and Ann want to add, I'd love to go straight to agenda item 3.
okay.
Okay, so we have Sue's report, and if we could just go through that.
So quickly, the first item is just kind of building updates. Today we had a problem with the furnace, and so one of our furnaces, the fan died. So that's the most recent thing. And this, of course, that and all the building stuff is paid for by the trust. And the guy came and we're good to go. The number 2 in the director's report is just all the long range plan progress, and it hasn't changed that much since last meeting because it's only been a month. But today is our first day of having evening hours. So every Tuesday we're going to be open from noon to 7. So that is a difference. And then the rest of it is kind of status quo. I did put the my standard charts on the back, and basically quickly what they show is that e-zone checkouts, the electronic books and audiobooks, is just skyrocketing. It's way more than ever. But also we have the library patron chart shows that we have more people coming in the building than ever before. And this includes pre-COVID year of 2019. But computer uses is down. And print book circulation is down. Wireless uses is low-ish. So it kind of shows how people are using the library. They're coming seeing us and they're using electronic media. But it's interesting. So I'm hoping that we can work on the print circulation. It is holding steady with past years, but it's not as high as it was pre-pandemic. So that may still be a pandemic thing. But anyway, so that's quickly what the charts show.
Great.
And
Could
I
I
think that's
ask a
it.
couple questions? So today's your first day of extended hours, so
Yes.
close at 7.
Yeah.
Are you going to keep a log for people who come in or calls that come in between 5 and 7, so we know whether this is worth your time?
Yes. So Sierra shows, Sierra is the database we use for checking books in and out and keeping track of our library patrons. And so that will actually show how many transactions we have. And I can do it per hour. So I can see, and that's how, when we were looking at staying open later, we were looking to stay open. In the past, they've stayed open till 8. And so I could look back and see that very few people checked out books between 7 and 8. So that's how I came up with the 7.
Right.
So we can keep you get a sense when you work, and the people who work it will know if it's how
Yep.
dead it is, but we can certainly keep those as a separate statistic. But I get the book checkout thing automatically.
Okay, I just think data is always
Yeah.
useful, and
Yeah.
great. If you could do it, great. And then down at under statistics, money received and documents notarized, the big number is the deficit under December
Right.
of $30. Are you worried about that at all?
No, what happened is that traditionally the library purchases some gift cards for people who do services for us. And so that was the problem. And then there was also a fair amount of postage. So that was most of that.
Okay.
So.
Okay, all right. So you don't think there'll be a $30 deficit each month? Okay, well, great. And then computer users being so down, do you think that's due to COVID? Do you think people are purchasing their own computers, or do we just not know?
I think it's a combination. We do have people who use the computers every single day, week, something, there are regular computer users, but I think more people have laptops. And so, they're coming in or they're getting internet at home. So borrowing one of our hotspots, or they have it at home. So that's, with some of the ARPA money, I got some laptops that we can just check out for use in the building, because what I wanted to do was free up some of the flat surfaces so that people who have laptops can come in and find a flat surface to set their laptop. They're not going to have to push desktops out of the way to have a place just to work. And that has been working. We are getting people coming in with their own, but still having them for those who don't have their own laptops. So I'm trying to kind of meet in the middle until we figure out where things are going.
Great.
But I'm still talking to people who come in for the COVID vaccine clinic. And I had a conversation with someone last week who said that this was the first public space she'd been in 2 years. So I think there are still people who are staying home because they don't feel safe out and about. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when we're finally, hopefully, through this.
Right. It's all up in the air right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody else have any other questions? Those were mine. You answered them beautifully. Any other questions on the director's report, Sue's report? Okay. All right. Now, if I can find my budget. Okay, let's move on to the draft budget. Is there an order you want to go in, Sue?
Nope, I'm kind of, since I haven't done this before, I was going to kind of, I sent you all kinds of stuff, including the worksheet that I came up with. The timeline that we're looking at is that I guess the town council wants it in February and the budget committee looks at it March 1st. Some of the numbers that I'm going to need won't be ready. Unfortunately, the state grant and aid number is set by the state legislature. It's part of the state budget. And so I know there's a draft budget that's due January 20th that will have a lump sum for the grant and aid. But I don't know, because I haven't been in this position at this time. I don't know when the divvying up happens for individual libraries. And then the insurance line for our liability insurance, not for life insurance or medical insurance. That number comes from Rhode Island Interlocal Trust, which is our insurance company, and that will come in the spring. So that number is an estimate. And for the state grant and aid number, I just put in what we got this year, figuring at least it wouldn't be less.
Right, okay. Well, I think that's all you can do. So if we look to the breakdowns, maybe we go to the salary detail, if everybody could bring that up, because that's kind of the first line. And Sue's broken down the 157,269.26 total. Last year, we gave we're granted a 3% salary increase. That was, as Sue heard from Tony, and we can see over and above what some other town employees got. So we are going more in line with the other town employees and asking for 2% increase. And so Sue has done that math, and that explains the increases. Are there any questions on that? Okay. And Sue, the $5,000 part-time salary line, we're going to keep that at 5?
Well, so it had been changed because we had to make an adjustment midstream
Yes.
for last year. I was going to keep it there if we could. So far, we've used around $200 with on-call staff. So if we may be able to lower it a little bit. I don't have a sense, because this is really the first year that we've had on-call staff. So,
It
you know,
seems
I
to
don't
me-
know if we get, heaven forbid, we all get COVID or something, we'll go through it fast. I don't know. I don't have a sense.
Okay. Okay.
Is that the part-time salary line?
No, the part-time salary line, and what that's for is the on-call subs. I have 2
Right.
people. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's all that's in there. That's all that's in there?
Yeah.
Okay,
And they are actual town employees.
right.
So,
And when you say we've used 200, is that this year or was that last year?
that's since July 1st.
Okay,
Yeah, it's a little bit over. It's like $214.19.
19 cents. Yeah, I mean, I think we still have to sort of plan for who knows what here.
Right.
All right. Since we're in uncharted territory with COVID, let's leave it in, see what happens, and revisit it next year. If we
Yeah, if we can keep it, I think that would be wise for now.
Yeah, we don't have any extra staffing. If 2 of us are out, then we're looking at 1 person in the building, and that's not a good, it's not a safe issue, and it's just hard on the person when you can't,
Mhm.
you can't leave.
Right.
Okay. Any other questions on the salary detail page? Okay. We talked about insurance, that's a guesstimate. We won't know that number for a while. The department expenses. So is that on your fiscal year 23 worksheet?
Yes, so the detail for that is there. The reason that it is a little bit lower is because, let's see, why is it a little bit lower? I don't know. I figured out how much we have spent on things and then increased a little bit for some things and tried to refine the fees as much as possible and kind of anticipate where we were going to have to spend money. The office expenses covers office supplies like paper, pens, pencils, but also book processing materials, barcodes, library cards, that sort of stuff, DVDs, audio, some audiobooks, computers and IT support. I put a little bit in there so that we can buy a laptop if we need to, buy a printer, something like that. Periodicals, magazines, newspapers, that sort of thing. And then OSL services, the fees are paid by law. They are paid by some of the money that comes from the state grant and aid, but we also get services from them. We have Envisionware, which is software for managing the computers. We have, it's that sort of thing. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but that sort of thing. Oh, we get kind of taxed for the audio, the electronic media. So I have put that in there. And then I wanted to add travel because there wasn't a separate line item for travel. And if we ever have to go to a meeting again, they're all in Cranston or Warwick. So I added that in so that we can reimburse staff who have to travel for a meeting.
Okay, but is there a number there that we want to be asking for? Am I missing that?
So the department expenses number in the budget, I put down 14,000.
Okay,
It's line item 1001665/7100
okay.
in the budget summary, operating summary.
Right.
But does that include travel? I don't see anything on the travel line.
So it's not, so there isn't a separate line for that. All of that is rolled into department expenses on the town.
Oh, I'm on your worksheet. I was on
Oh
your
yeah, so
worksheet.
my worksheet, it should have been the 1,000 or the 300 rather.
300's up, it's up one
Oh,
row.
it's
to
up
the
Oh,
right.
it's up one. Okay, I'm
Oh.
sorry.
That's all right. I
Okay,
got it now. I got it.
So I missed,
It's just in the wrong space. That's wrong.
it's in the
cell.
wrong
That's all right.
space. Yeah, so,
Got
crud. Okay.
and then
So
is there
let
something
me-
that should be an OS?
Yes, there
OSL?
is. There
Oh.
is. Hold on a minute. I'm sorry. I thought I proofed this and I apologize.
Well, that's all right. These worksheets have a way of doing things when you're not looking.
Yeah. Well, I think I've been staring at it so much and then I updated it after the things I sent to Ann and Jeff because I realized I'd forgotten things and then I did it again. I'm just thinking for a minute where I can pull this up. Hold on. I will go as fast as I can.
Well, you know what? And you don't have to do it for today. I am.
Yeah, no, I know where it is if I can find
Yeah.
the spot. They've moved everything to a new place. Here it is. Budget fees. Fiscal year 2023. Sorry, I'm muttering to myself. So our fees will be 646.20 and 3,153. So 3647.73, I think, and I will double check that, but as a quick, so this number will have to change. So mine, it's not 14 even. So that number should be 17,647.73, and I will double check that for the next meeting. But that's the rough, so it will be more. And I apologize.
Oh, it's fine. Not to worry.
Right, yep. Okay, yep, so we'll review those numbers, okay. And your phone and security are down, which is great.
That's down because we went to voice over internet.
Right.
So the next section, pension, medical, dental, payroll, and life insurance have to come from the town. Unfortunately, the finance department has been felled by illness. And so they are going to get back to me with that stuff. And that's all part of the payroll stuff, which they do for us. We don't do our own payroll.
Okay, remind me, Sue, when does the town want this by?
End of February.
Oh, end of February.
Well, the council looks at it in February. I think that Tony would like it sooner. And then the budget committee is going to look at it March 1st. Those are the dates that I have.
All right. And
I don't know when the town council is looking for it. I just had February written down.
So my question is it worth having another meeting, us calling another meeting before our annual meeting if we don't have those numbers?
Nancy, when is our annual meeting again? I don't have my calendar right out.
I know, and my papers are all over the place. February.
February 8th. So
Oh.
it's soon. I have the 8th at 3 o'clock.
Yep.
So we should be okay then, right? If they don't need this till like mid to late February. Is that what you said, Sue?
I just have February and then the budget committee looks at it starting in March.
So
Can we, instead of scheduling a new meeting, Nancy, I mean, an additional meeting, could we have Sue check and then get back to us and see if
Yeah. It sounds like to me, the thing to do is to not schedule another meeting for us right now.
yeah.
Make our changes we just talked about on our papers. And then if for some reason they got us the pension numbers and everything next week, we could think about another meeting. But my guess is they're not going to get us anything by before our annual meeting. So
I think you're probably right. Yeah.
so at our annual meeting, we can reassess and see if we need another meeting before March 1st to
I
get
think that
our
makes sense.
numbers in order. What do you treasurers think of that? Sue, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I can reach out to other directors and see when the preliminary grant and aid numbers come out. But I know the preliminary budget to the state isn't until for 10 more days, January 20th. So I don't think anything's going to happen on that front before February 8th.
Okay.
Probably.
Okay. Well, that's where I'm leaning. And Jeff, do you have any comments?
No, I think.
I think that makes
sticking
sense.
with February 8th is fine. Yeah, that
Okay.
makes sense.
Okay.
Any emergency after that, we can add something in February if necessary.
Okay. Anything else we need to go over with the budget right now?
So there was one extra page that Tony has added this year, and that's the capital budget. And I struggled with this because, if you're a town agency that has vehicles or something like that, you're planning that sort of a large purchase. Where because of the situation we're in, I'm not really doing that. And even if you consider the idea of the reorganization of the library as a capital project, I had anticipated that we might be able to use grants and donations for at least some of that. I did meet with a Rhode Island architect last week, and she is going to get me some information. And I have one more architect that I'm waiting for. So I've plugged a few numbers into that page, which I think I sent to you guys.
Yep.
But that's why I really was very sketchy about what
And does
even
he
to
want-
put in.
And does he want this end of February also? Is that? what
Well, the
he's-
idea is that this will be a planning page so that, and it's a townwide thing, so that all town
Mhm.
departments are thinking long-term so that they can set themselves up so they're not asking for huge amounts of money in 1 year, I think.
Oh, that's a great
So-
idea. I'm not sure, as you say, how relevant it is to us.
Right. But I did include
good
it, and I figured that's the only big thing that
Yep.
we're doing.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions or comments on that page if they took a look at it, the capital budget page that is new to us? The
That makes-
$15,000 in planning,
Mhm.
can you just explain that a little bit to me?
So the folks that I have been speaking to, and I've talked to 2 different firms, have talked about a range of costs and what it would cover, depending on which agency you speak to, is an assessment of town needs, an assessment of the building, and some preliminary ideas of how we could reorganize the space. So one of the companies is more of a reorganized space company, and one of them also works with, they both work with engineers, but one of them seems to do more of the kind of addition thing. And that may not be an option for us. But the range that I have been told is between $10,000 and $20,000. So I picked 15 with low, and I've only gotten from one, or I got estimates from 2 different places, but one was very rough. I was sending things out to people saying, are we talking $10,000, $100,000? You know, I don't know. I've never done this. So with no strings attached, those were the ranges I was given. And some of them include a structural engineer, some of them include focus groups. You know, they're different approaches with the 2 companies that I've spoken to so far. But that would give us a good, I think when it was complete, that would give us a good idea of how we would divvy up the space. And then the architect plan would be the actual fixtures. Well, you're going to buy this thing and it's going to go there. That's the level of detail for the architect plan, from what I understand. And then the reorganization is actually doing the plan.
Okay.
And that's the way I think the process would work if we decided to do that.
I get it. I didn't understand what the planning encompassed, and that was a great explanation. I get it now. Okay. Anything
Excuse
else?
me, Nancy, excuse me. Sue, have you explored any more with Van Buren?
I haven't. I got some information with them initially from them, and basically once we have an idea, I can then get in touch with them, and they are accepting applications for grants on a rolling basis for capital projects. So I
All right.
wouldn't have to be stuck with the January deadline.
Good. My thought was perhaps included in part of the grant, as part of a grant request, could be the planning.
That actually, they specifically said that they are interested in funding the planning process, because they find it works better when the planning process is a robust process because you
Right.
want to do this once.
Right.
You don't want to do it very often. So,
Right.
you know, I think the last library renovation that I could find blueprints for was 92. So yeah, so 30 years, that sounds about right. So
It's
you want to
time.
make sure that you do, you really think about it ahead of time. And so
Mhm.
that's why hiring somebody, it's like doing your
Yeah.
kitchen. You
Yeah.
know, they've seen a lot of kitchens and so they know layouts and stuff. And so it's the same, these folks do libraries. So yeah, that, and yeah, the Van Buren definitely would be a source for, or a site, a place for me to apply
Right.
for money for the planning part of it.
So sounds to me like we're kind of done talking about the budget. Just one other thing on this capital budget piece, this, you know, studying how to renovate or reorganize. Could we think about a committee you would like to have? I would think, I mean, maybe you don't want a committee, but would you think about who you would like to work with within the community? You know, whether it's somebody at the trust, just start thinking about
Yeah.
who would be great to work with, whose vision would be both necessary and helpful.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of stakeholders here.
Mhm.
I mean, we have you guys, we have the trust, we have library patrons, and we have library staff. And so that's encompasses a lot of people. And I certainly don't want to do this without any of those folks being involved. And we have to, you know, and I want to take it carefully. I want it to be a 30-year renovation. I don't want it done and then people saying, "Ah, no, we blew it," you know. But I think there are things that we can do within the existing footprint of the building, which would improve the access for the patrons, and it would improve the spaces for the patrons. And so I just, I figured the talking to architects thing could be a preliminary thing that I could do, but then after that, I fully intended for all of people to be involved.
Great. Okay, and I know we've talked about that before. and so,
Yeah.
I know it's foremost in your mind, and Shirley's, because she's done this before too. Okay, well, does anybody have anything else about anything we've discussed or any new business? Okay. Then I would say let's make a motion to adjourn until our annual meeting in February. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll move. So moved.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Thanks. All in favor? Aye.
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 Great. Unanimous. We'll adjourn. That's fastest meeting we've ever had. Again, unless something pops up, we'll see, you know, everybody February 8th, was it?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
And probably Zoom, but we can hope. But until then, stay well, stay healthy, and thanks for all your intensive work on this budget.
Welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Sue.
Okay.